The Uganda we want.
So mu Uganda gye twagala mu lutalo luno olw'okulwanyisa obulabbayo obukenuzi nze kyempita obuvundu. Munnayuganda alina okuba nga yenyi.
Welcome to the program, The Uganda We Want. My name is Molanzi Robert. I'm so glad to be back with this program, and I hope you, our viewers on Dream TV and BTV, and our listeners on Impact FM, the best radio station in East Africa. We have just received that award as the best radio station in East Africa. And when we talk about East Africa, we are talking of 7 countries. I want you to think about that. 7 countries, they all have radio stations. Uganda alone has over 300 radio stations. And amongst those, Impact FM was voted the best. And then we were able to go to the next level of East Africa, and still, all the stations in East Africa, still Impact FM won that award. So we are so happy. And now if you're listening in, you're listening to a radio station that has an award that makes it the best in East Africa. Today is going to be different. We're going to talk about something of interest to you. But don't forget, I always charge our leaders and you Ugandans, there is something that you have to do to ensure that we live in a country that you and I envision. If you don't envision a kind of Uganda different from the one that we are in, I'm thinking there could be something with you. And if I'm a doctor, I would really love to take you for an operation if possible. You need to go to a theater and we operate you. But I don't think so. I don't think you are like others who think like that. We are joined by Council Waswa Fahad Gisa. He's the managing partner for Litmus Advocates in Kampala. He's one of the senior councils we have in this country. And he's one of the citizens that come up, yes, leave alone his background in law, but he has love for this country. When we were growing up, they used to tell us, if you love your country, you're a patriot. But him is beyond being a patriot to a Pan-Africanist. He's a Pan-African. He's a lawyer who is a Pan-Africanist. And he's been advocating, and he still fights for those who are, who are underprivileged, those who are unable to meet court, dues and fees. He does that as a lawyer, but also he wants to see a Uganda that is peaceful. And today, before I go into what we are going to talk about, let me allow him to greet you and also introduce more himself. Then we'll begin from there. Council, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
On Dream TV,
thank you so much.
BTV, and Impact FM. Please, could you greet our viewers and our listeners?
I thank God for this opportunity. Good afternoon, our viewers and our listeners. As Robert has said, the name's Waswa Fahad Gisa. I'm a lawyer by profession. I'm a poet. I'm, I would say, a Ugandan who really loves this country. Because I cannot make an exchange with any other country. And even though I was given a chance, I would stay Ugandan. Yes.
Well, it's good to have you. The last time we had a conversation on the Uganda we want, you were talking about issues of rule of law, rule by law. We were also talking about the issue of people you were fighting for in Gomba. We don't know how that ended. Those people are now free. If you can just give us an update on that, just briefly, and then I'll dive into what we have to talk about today.
We are still pushing the case. I would thank the president. The president sent the minister. Those people were being oppressed by NFA. Over 38 villages had to be evicted. But the office of the president and Minister Mayanja have really helped the people. And the people are still enjoying their rights on the land. And he has also reminded them that if the NFA really needs to plant trees, the indigenous people can plant trees. There's no need to bring people out of the area. And I think it's going on well.
Okay.
And there is peace. I would thank the office of the president on that. There is peace in those 36 villages in Gomba. That is Karombe. That is Nsowe. There are very many villages. But the office of the president has really entered into the issue. And we have peace. Whenever you come at my office and you don't find a lot of people, just know that it is a teamwork. Us as the legal profession, we do our work, but government also needs to do its work. Yes.
That's true. Well, that's good. Now, on the update on the rule of law and rule by law, where are we now? By the time we are talking about that, one of your friends, Mr. Gisa, Council Gisa, and I think he's not yet out, together with Dr. Gisa Besigye, Mr. Abedi Lutale, they are still in prison. And then I remember, I think you can remind me very well, but I remember the Supreme Court came up and said, okay, no trying civilians in military courts. Well, everyone jubilated. We civilians, we actually jubilated. I'm like, okay, oh, there is a relief now. But within a blink of an eye, the thing was taken back to Parliament. And now, a few months ago, the president of this country signed on it and said, no. The amendment that was made in the UPDF Act is now a law. Yes, we are trying them again in the military court. So now my question again comes back to you. Are we still under the rule of law, or we are under the rule by law?
You see, the rule of law and the rule by law and the fight for freedoms, for human freedoms, and the fight for peace and stability is a continuous process. It's not a one-day thing that you can say that I fought for peace and it is done. Because society evolves and society develops. The more society evolves, the more changes come into the society. And the more thinking and propoundings emulate in society. So, Council Gisa is out. Dr. Kano Gisa Besigye is still in. And Obed Rutare, is it Rutare?
Rutare.
Yes, Rutare. But the beauty with it is now they appear in civilian courts. They don't appear in military courts. I've written an article in Daily Monitor as one of the lawyers from Uganda Law Society who disagreed with the toppling off of civilian supremacy. The beauty with proper thinking and reason is that we disagree with respect. So, where you disagree with respect, regardless of the fact that it is law now, we continue to disagree with it. And I maintain my views in the article I wrote in the Daily Monitor that the military courts were just disciplinary courts, that we are supposed to handle UPDF issues and servicemen.
So with respect, you're disagreeing with the president, because for him he says no.
Yes, I disagree. I disagree. I disagree with him. I totally disagree with him. Because you see, in a civilized society, we disagree with reason. And I've given my reasons in my article, even before he ascended onto that law. I've given my reasonings. But you see, he holds the pen and the power. And I've told you that the fight for freedoms, the fight for rights and peace is not a one-day thing. You remember the detention laws by Wingira? When they acted against him. Today people are serving as UPDF officers. Tomorrow they will retire. And they will be charged by the same law.
Like the way it happened on Mr. Mama Mbaba's.
You see, the Public Order Management Bill.
Yes.
So the law is a beautiful thing. You cannot know whether what you're doing today is really not good, not until it gets grip of you in a slow motion to the fact that you have nowhere to go. Today it may look as if it may be not just, and for the men in uniforms, it is okay, but you're going to retire. And you find that it is proper to be charged under a civilian court. But now you are taken under a military court. You look at the issues that they have gazetted, you look at the kind of shoes, the kaunda suits, the capes, and each and everything. I think there is a little bit of laxity and bad drafting. And we've propounded all of that in the article. And it is on record. And the beauty with writing is that record remains. And people read. If you go on Twitter or you go on Google and you put in my name and the UPDF Act, the article will come and you'll get my ideas. And for us, we can write because history cannot forgive us if you don't write. I've recently written a poem titled, Time is a Silent Assassin. Time is a silent assassin. And reality is her wife. So time cannot forgive us and reality will never forgive us. But what we have to do is to write so that those people who will come after us would know that we envisioned this. Just imagine if the president had not taken arms in to have the victory in 1986, what would happen? History will not forgive him. But now history has forgiven him that he took arms. But then we can discuss what he did after.
And of course, we are going to talk about that. So if history has forgiven him, I'm thinking people haven't forgiven him. Okay. Not all Ugandans have forgiven him. But history has forgiven him, as you're saying.
At a certain point.
At a certain point. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Two things. One, when you talk about bad drafting of, let's say, of the UPDF Act, okay, should we blame that? Because the 11th Parliament has actually close to 10 soldiers who are in there, the generals who are in there, who are representing the soldiers in Parliament, close to 10. So should we blame that on those guys? They're just eating money for nothing, the Parliament?
We can't blame
or the entire August House.
We can't blame a given group of people for the mistake of the majority, a minority for the mistake of the majority. The mistake should be put on the whole house.
August House.
Because you're in there to do decisions that affect Uganda at that time, to legislate laws that affect Uganda at the time. So if you slumber and sleep and you don't take initiative, I think that is political negligence, and you are neglecting the common good.
So, Council, are you saying that the bad drafting of the UPDF Act, which is now a law that the president signed on recently, we should blame it on 529 members of Parliament?
All of them. All of them. Because you may say that for you got out when the law was being passed. But does the law require you to get out? When you go into the answer, we would ask, were you among the people who said no? And the issue would be, you were not among those people. So how do you convince a market vendor who has been arrested having a junk boot bought from Nakasero that you are not among? He may think that even you were paid to get out. So I think it is very important to participate in decision making than isolating yourself. The isolation policy of politicians is too bad. It is drama which can't help in nation building.
In our context, you're talking about these politicians who go in parliament to represent me and they end up not representing me.
Yes, and they matched out when they were passing the law. That means you're giving quorum to those ones who are pro the law.
I get you. The second thing, well, someone could be watching us and listening to us. You said you wrote an article in Daily Monitor, and you gave reasons for your disagreement on the UPDF, law now. But someone would be like, what are some of those reasons that you actually gave for our better understanding? Why are you still disagreeing with President Museveni on the UPDF Act now?
I disagree with respect with His Excellency the President because, you see, the UPDF Act as it is, when it was establishing the court-martial, it was established as a disciplinary committee. And the law, the constitution is clear. The courts of judicature. It is very clear. And you cannot at any point have a civilian tried by a militant who works under direct orders. We don't have Judicial Service Commission and others. You may tell me that they are going to be under the Court of Appeal. You have the right to appeal to Court of Appeal. But all of that being done after, I think we are creating bad precedent. The Supreme Court had held that it is unconstitutional. Then you go back in Parliament and you enact a law. It's as if everything or any law that Supreme Court will hold unconstitutional, you have a window to go back. So it is legitimizing something that is already illegitimate. It is bad precedent. It is bad law. It is bad practice. So, for everyone or for the viewers to understand why we disagree with that is a power is derived from the people.
As our constitution.
Yes, power is derived from the people. And civilian supremacy in any developing country or in any developing democracy is extremely very key. When you erode civilian supremacy, then you are eroding trust. You are instilling fear. And we need power that can know when to release, but not a permanent grip. So in my article, I expounded on civilian supremacy. And civilians cannot be tried by an officer of UPDF who is working under direct order.
Order from above.
And is supposed to obey that direct order. You will be convicted not because evidence has been put to test, but because there is an order to
convict me.
To convict. You are going to see in 2026 how the same will be misused. It is an avenue of stepping on the temple of justice. By the time you think of appeal, you're already arrested. Shall come and drop uniforms, bullets in your car, we arrest you. We tongue lash you into court. Somebody is already under orders. Just like...
actually, into a military court.
Yes. Just like Land Council, Elon Chiza was remanded.
Contempt of court.
Without a charge. You get. So, I think that is political comedy. Yeah, it's political comedy. And the beauty with it is that we must speak. Because if you don't speak and you keep quiet, history cannot forgive you. I always tell people that even when a whisper contains some kind of truth, however small it is, it shouldn't die from the throat. It is better that it is brought out. And I always emphasize disagreement with respect. Let us reason. If you can't reason, then you may not engage so much.
Okay. Well, thank you. In whatever you've said, now I'm thinking to myself, what that action that was done, I'm looking at the three arms of government, the executive, judiciary, and the legislature. I am trying to see how respect can be, embedded in those three, and I can't see it because if the Supreme Court says so, and you, the legislature and the executive say no, now to me, from the fourth estate and to the civilian, they're like, now, where will we run to be helped? Because even the parliament, as you said, did not serve me not to be tried in the civilian court. The judiciary did serve me, but the executive overpowered.
Yeah, this is why I told you that the fight for freedom, the fight for stability and peace is a continuous process. Before 1986, His Excellency the President had to pick up arms to go to the bush and fight for
That's
peace.
1981.
For peace, freedom, and stability. We don't have a lot of bush or a lot of forests where we can go, but time change. Now we may not pick up arms. We may debate ideas. We may use our phones. We may talk to people. You get? So, it is a continuous process.
It's a continuous process.
Yes.
All right. Now, let me dive into what actually brought me here.
What is
Even
that?
the other one was brought me here, but this one brought me here. I landed on an open letter that you wrote to the president of this country, His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. I read it, and since for me, I have a camera, I have the microphone, and I have the mouth. I was like, okay, let me go to this person. Abaganda bagamba lulubaali w'omulamu tasamirirwa. Kubanga oli mulamu ate gwe wabyogedde engamba kati kanzije. I want to know, why did you write this letter to the president, and what is in this letter?
Mr. Mlanzi, you see, my letter to the president,
And how is it giving us the Uganda we want anyway?
beginning, because the program that we are in is the Uganda we want.
Yes.
Today, the Uganda I want, I should tell you that is the Uganda where we have a peaceful transition that is not feared but prepared for. A transition that has been prepared by its founding father or by a founding father. And the founding father is central and part and partial in that transition. You would agree with me that even a lion knows when to rest under the acacia tree and teach the cub how to hunt. Trust me, Mr. Mlanzi, it is not easy to write to the president. When I wrote that letter, I got calls from very many people telling me this is too much. But I did not write to rebel. I did not write to oppose. I did not write to fight. I did not come out with my fist. But I wrote to remind. I wrote to call upon unity. This was a son talking to a father, kneeling down before the father. That you are the lion that created a path from the bush. Please kindly teach us how to walk through that path from the bush. And when you look at my letter, despite all, when you look at what the opposition is doing, it is technically written. It took me time. I was alone in the night. One hand full of ink and another hand full of fear. And my nation was in my chest, but I had to release it out. In that letter, I show you that our president inherited a country that was in limbo. We are struck with HIV. We are struck with economic progress. GDP rose. People were illiterate. Roads were ramshackled. There was no money to run government. But all of that was done.
You actually say that the GDP rose from 3.9 billion US dollars.
Yes.
And now he has pushed it to 45 billion US dollars.
That is serious.
And also primary school enrollment from 2.5 million now to over 8 million.
Yes.
Life expectancy from 43 years to 64 now. So if I die at 64, no one should cry for me.
Because when we see, before he came in power, what was the life expectancy?
43.
43. But now when you die 43, people say,
I'll be having a few years to die now.
hey, people would say you are very young. People have accessed hospitals, people have accessed, medical services, regardless. You get, even when Aunt Mulan's or Aunt Robert, I should recognize the good things that Robert has done.
So the lion you're talking about, it has done some good things, okay?
It has done a lot.
It has done a lot.
Yes.
HIV, you said from 18.5%
Yes.
now to below 6%.
To below 6%, and I was recently reading that we have come up with an injection where they give you two
Not to be
injections.
expensive.
Yes.
102 million.
Where they give you two injections, but there is no
good.
value that can atone to that can atone for money. It's not there. You get. So when I was writing that letter, Robert, it's not easy to write to the president. It's not.
Yeah.
But
Were you with God?
but
Where did you get the motivation and energy to actually write to him?
we cannot keep quiet, and we can't be silenced when we have truth. However small that truth can be, it must be let out from the throat. You get?
Now, I want to know, because when you wrote to the president, you're asking him to think about the transition, the peaceful transition of power. Council, you're not the first person to talk about this to him. And I don't know if he read your letter. Did he actually, let me start from there. Did he read your letter?
I'm not sure that the president read my letter. That's why I think 21 hours ago, I wrote him a poem.
So if he didn't read the letter, you think he'll read the poem?
At least you read the poem. But you see, sometimes for us, we do the writing that history cannot hold us liable. And another thing that I can tell you, why I'm looking at the peaceful transition, in the whole Uganda, there is nobody in this country that is experienced in leading Uganda than President Museveni. You get?
Yeah?
No one has led Uganda.
Okay.
And he has experience in leading Uganda. Because even, I think the former presidents died. Do you know anyone who is alive?
Oh, they are all dead.
They are all dead.
Yeah, Mutesa,
You get it? They're all dead.
Amini,
Now,
Bote.
he has the experience in managing this 45 million country. If he has that experience, we cannot look at it, go. And in my letter, I'm just saying, before you go, please get involved in the transition of what? Of power. Why? Me and you, we've never stayed in a refugee camp. We've never been there and we are not sure of what will happen tomorrow. We've never been there and we are not sure that you can fail to move from here to Entebbe airport. We've grown up in the sky that he has known or that he has prepared, when each and everything is automatic. But it does not mean that each and everything is automatic elsewhere. We have refugee camps in Uganda, but we don't have Ugandans in a refugee camp. And we are telling, and in my letter I'm telling the president, that we who were named under your shade, we who studied under your principles of education and others, we've not seen that. We've not seen the sky without your sword, without your palm. Prepare this transition.
Council, the man you're talking to is actually 80 years and above now. Why do you think you can speak to him to think about transition of power when you're not even 70% of his age?
You see, knowledge and understanding is not gauged at how many or with how many years you have. As other youth of my age are seriously sleeping in the nightclubs, they are seriously thinking of going for trips in Dubai. Me, I'm seriously thinking of that Uganda without President Museveni. How will it be? I'm thinking of the population of Uganda being of the youth. And that population of Uganda has never lived in a refugee camp. That population of Uganda have never been there and they have not predicted what will happen tomorrow. I'm thinking that way. And I'm not alone. There are very many people of my age that are thinking that way.
In Uganda without Museveni.
Yes. And it is him that has created the environment that we can speak. But it should be him also to listen to us, because he has created this environment for us to do what? To speak. And another thing that I can tell you, Robert, is that if he does not take the lead, in 1986 when he was entering as president, he fought vultures. He fought vultures that were all over our skies. He fought the wolves that were everywhere. And these wolves are back. And we should hold him in legacy. And between me and you, good leadership is that leadership that does not hold on power, but knows when to let power go. A hand that cuts, that holds the sword, should be the same hand that can plant a seed. These wolves are back. Not that they are not seeing him. They are seeing him, and they only fear one man.
So for him, he's not seeing them?
He's seeing the wolves.
He's seeing them.
But they may not be the wolves in the same skin that he fought. These are wolves that a little bit advanced by his own system. And the son of the soil, Gisa, is just telling the big man that please let us be in a transition that is self-centered and you are the central. If we wait pale philosophers to plan for us a transition, it is going to be so bad. When I talk about philosophers, I'm meaning the whites. If we let the whites plan for us this transition, it is going to be so bad.
Yeah, we are still suffering with what they planned for us.
Because we know where they have been. In Libya. You know what is in Libya?
Yeah.
They forced a transition.
And you're seeing Uganda heading there if Mr. Museveni doesn't step up.
If he does not be part of the transition.
Has he stepped up?
That's why I had to write a poem.
Okay, so he hasn't stepped up?
I'm not
and
sure.
He hasn't taken the lead of peaceful transition.
If he had taken the lead of peaceful transition, he wouldn't pick the nomination forms. If he had taken the lead of peaceful transition, he would be aware that now we are moving from his leadership and we are getting to his guardianship.
Okay.
You get it? Actually, I'm not asking the president to go.
As in, what do you mean to go? What do you mean?
I'm not asking the president to go and sleep. Let power and go and sleep. That's why I told you that President Museveni has experience in the whole world. He's the only man who has the experience on how to lead Uganda in the whole world. Because he has been leading this country for the last over 40 years. No one has. So that experience, we don't want it to get wasted. We want it to go into guidance.
So are you saying we should create, if he steps down from the office of the president, are you saying we create for him another office, supreme leader, like the way it was in Burundi?
We don't need to create that. But his relevance, I can give you an example. Mzee Moi ruled Kenya.
You're taking me to Kenya?
Yes, Mzee Moi ruled Kenya for about 25 years, 20 years and above with an iron fist. But Mzee Moi stepped aside and Kenya took over from other leaders. And he was just a guide. He was just a guide. He died peacefully. His son Gideon Moi can walk on the streets of Kampala. On the streets of Nairobi.
Nairobi, yes.
You get it?
Or Mombasa, or
Yes.
Nakuru.
So,
Everywhere.
I don't want, between me and you, the silence that is in the market, villages, in the corridors of Kampala, is what is next. After the lion is no more. They are vultures. We are giving power to the pale philosophers, to the whites, to sketch for us our future. Yet, he can take a lead.
Okay, I have a question still on that. Why do you think Mr. Museveni is holding this power so much that he cannot even think of taking the lead of peaceful transition? Why do you think this power thing to him is like a god, as in a smaller god?
That's not my thinking, that he can't let go. But my thinking is, he thinks it's not your time to let go.
Oh, he thinks it's not yet time.
That's what I think. He thinks it's
At
not
his age, for him to think like that.
Because if he thought it is time, he wouldn't pick the nomination. I remember I was watching on TikTok. I was watching the first daughter, Pastor Patience. Pastor Patience was preaching about transition, but in the religious kind of manner. And he was talking about when an airplane is taking off. She was saying that it's the transition from the ground to space. But it's a very critical that they will tell you to fasten your belts. They will tell you to, if you have anything that you've not locked, lock it. They'll tell you to switch off your phone. If you don't, some things will
I wish I can bring my producer here because he has just had that experience a few days ago.
Some things will
Now
fall.
he knows whatever you're talking about.
Good. Now, in that transition, if you don't prepare for it very well, I'm borrowing the words of Pastor Patience, the daughter to the president. If you don't prepare for it well, a lot of things can fall. And here, son of a soil, I'm saying, let the pirate, who is the president, take the lead in preparing us into a transition. Just imagine when an airplane is taking that transition from ground to the space, and the pilot does not take part. Can you have a transition?
You cannot.
So that's the transition that I'm talking about. That our president must take part. When you tell me tomorrow that the Americans are going to take part in our transition, I don't agree. Because the Americans do not have experience in managing Uganda. The British do not have experience in managing Uganda. It's our president who has experience in managing this country. We are just calling upon him to take part in this.
Let me read your words here. You're saying your plea is not against His Excellency the President. You're saying don't return to the contest of politics, which he never had. He never heed to what you were asking him here, because he has already picked forms, as we said, and it seems Tova Kumeini Muzei Jaja, that one now has been endorsed. He's coming in the next election to contest for president. You said lead this transition not as a candidate, but as a cornerstone. I think you've nailed that. But it seems he's not listening to this. For you, you're seeing sense in this, but I'm thinking he's not seeing sense in what you're saying. You're seeing sense. But for him, he's not. As Chintu marked a beginning, let Mr. Museveni mark a turning, you're saying. And you're saying something that is now may not be against you from him, but the entire, the politicians. You're saying, let us not hold an election, let us hold hands instead. Council. You said it was in the night. Why were you dreaming all this? Do you see this happening in this country? Let us not hold an election. We hold hands. Council, you are dreaming.
You see, elections are just rituals. You get? They are just rituals that people will come, line behind you, and they are ghosts within the ballot box. That in one way or the other, things may happen. The money we spend in holding these elections, if His Excellency the President would just come up and say, I'm not coming for the contest of 2026, but let me involve the elders, the ex-generals, the leaders, the community leaders from different regions of Uganda,
The religious leaders.
We have very brilliant people in this country.
We have the elders forum.
Yes, so that we have shake of hands. Then we prepare for an election. That would be the best thing. That would be, because each and every person in Africa, where leadership has been, the grip has been hard for a very long period of time, they fear transition. And in my letter, I'm saying, when Africa was in fear and shock of the transition, let Museveni come up and award that. Let His Excellency award that to us. One person asked me a question on a phone and was like, Council, your propoundings are very good, but whom are you looking at as a president? Are you looking at General Muhoozi? Are you looking at the first daughter? Are you looking at
Did he or she say Bobby Wine?
At Bob Wine, His Excellency Kyagulanyi? Are you looking at Robert Mao?
No, he's not His Excellency. He's principal.
I don't know, but it's a custom.
You know this law thing. They don't want them to sue you.
No, you can't sue me for that. It's custom. It is custom used in Uganda.
Okay.
He's the president of NUP. And the people of NUP associate him as His Excellence. We know who the president is, the fact and the law, the Julie.
The fountain of power.
Yes. We know who the president is.
Okay.
Yes. So they asked me all of those questions. But it is very key, Mr. Mlans, that we don't waste any time, because we've not seen the skies without President Museveni. And we want to see those skies under a transition or under a change with him.
Okay, because now my last question is in line with what you're trying to explain to us. Yes, let's take it that, okay, we have heard and listened to your plea, your request. You want the president to take the lead. In the Uganda I always ask you people who come in this program to give us the how. Everyone can say, Mr. Museveni, take the lead. Mr. Museveni, step down. And actually, the opposition politician, they are saying that there is a group that actually came up with a slogan, we are removing a what? A dictator. And that's their slogan. We are removing a dictator. And it became so common. The power is in our hands. We are removing a dictator. The dictator has already picked forms.
You see,
how can he do that? How can he take the lead?
You see, Mr. Mlans, before you finish up,
yes,
you will forgive me. I would invite our viewers to visit my Twitter handle. I've written a very interesting poem. One of my clients who is in government called me and he was really in shock. It's called the puppets who pretend to pull the strings.
So I was talking about the puppets, eh?
I've not said that. The puppets who pretend to pull the strings, giving speech on a podium made of gold, come with fingers smelling palace ink, with clenched fists. So you see, Pan-Africanism and patriotism, they cannot be separated. You can't be a Pan-Africa when you are not patriotic. And it is so bad for a given group of people to think that for them, they are more patriotic than other. In a developing economy or in a developing democracy like this one, we should be able to associate each and every person's idea.
Yeah.
And you're asking me how we have talked
how
about,
can he take
we have
that practically?
We have talked about that. Engage the elders.
Okay.
Engage the cultural leaders. Engage Ugandans at all levels. You get it? As you engaged them with the 10-point programs, from the RCCs, from the chiefs, they were all engaged in the Constitutional Commission. You remember the Constitutional Commission? You get it? They are all engaged. Engage them.
But I think, Council, he has been engaging with them.
With which mind? We are engaging with the mind. I've told you, even a lion, an old lion, should know when to rest under the acacia tree. You get? When to rest. And the cubs have to take on. You get? I wrote this letter with a lot of fear, but I had no choice. I had to write.
Yeah, when I read it, I thought I will never see you again, and I'm actually surprised that I'm seeing you again.
I've made a lot of poems on my Twitter handles, if you can go there. But we should be able to fight for stability, peace, and also we shouldn't forget fighting for trust.
True.
Because you can have stability, peace
without trust.
Without trust.
Yeah. Very possible.
And how are people going to trust you? Because trust me, there is one thing that we can never fight. That is body's limitation. I can't live forever. No. time will come and I will die.
Council, take it that the president totally resists your idea of him taking the lead, and now Uganda is without him.
No Ugandan should pray for that. It is a trauma, a boomerang. It is chaos. It is circus of politics. No one. I've told you, the wolves are back. The vultures that he fought when he was coming from the bush are back.
In a modified way.
They are all over our skies. The wolves are everywhere. The only thing they fear
Is the lion.
is the old white guardian lion. When it roars, they keep quiet. They are not keeping quiet in obedience. They are keeping quiet in calculation. They are back. I've told you, the biggest population of Ugandans have never stayed in a refugee camp. We don't know even what happens in a refugee camp. We don't have any Ugandan in a refugee camp. For the time our president has been in power, we can predict tomorrow, but that will be the time where we cannot predict tomorrow. That will be the time when we don't know what comes next. That will be, he would have given us to the white philosophers and the white pale philosophers to draft our destiny. And when they come for oil. They don't invest where they don't get. You get what I'm saying? So I don't want to picture Uganda without Museveni when His Excellency the President has not prepared for a transition.
So he must prepare Uganda for a transition.
He has no choice. He has to do it. Because if he does not do it, everything that he fought for would be put on ground.
I think he has heard you now. If he didn't read your letter, he has heard your voice.
And another thing that another thing that you should know, there are few of us who think like that, like this, and can come up and speak because of a lot of fear. But one day I heard him talking that when you challenge me, I don't need to kill you. When I kill you, it means I'm a coward.
Oh.
You get it?
Oh, that's a good defense from a lawyer.
He said that.
Yeah.
And when he said that, it gave me a little bit of confidence.
Exactly. That's why I said it's a good defense from you as a lawyer.
You shouldn't be overconfident.
Okay.
But your life does not make purpose even when you keep quiet. Today, people are saying that my friend of Buyende, was the OC of Buyende, Kirumira. People are beginning to see what Kirumira used to
talk about.
Yeah. But when he was talking, people didn't take him what? Serious. But we all responsible for this country. We are equally responsible for this country. And we cannot discuss nonsense when there is sense to discuss.
Council, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Your Excellency, I have used the camera, and as you said, you cannot kill someone if he has challenged you with reasoning. So I have just used my camera to challenge you through the voice of Council Fahad Waswa Gisa. Ugandans, I come back to you. What are you going to do to ensure that we achieve a peaceful transition of power as well on your side? We need a stable, peaceful Uganda. You and I, we will live in that country and we'll enjoy life to the fullest. I thank you, and for now we say bye-bye.